Welcome to another MML Face-Off. Today our two teams are from the Wicked Forest Conference. I'm sorry, from the the Wasteland Athletic Conference. I should get that right. They are Leaping Lizard versus Praag no 5. Actually, alright, I screwed that up. I'm going to back up. Our two teams today, one is from the Wasteland Athletic Conference, facing off against our new Wicked Forest team, Praag no 5 team, I think is what it's called. Damn, I'm off today. Sorry, I got late notice to broadcast this game and commentate on it, so. Alright, Leaping Lizard starting off with a strong block by Oliver. And we're gonna have Snake move into place.
That one's got fists bigger than ham joints.
There's a push made on Stanley. I'm glad to see both teams have named their players. Makes it a lot easier to call and a lot more fun for everybody checking us out. Right now it looks like we have nobody in the chat room, but as I'm pubbing it in the MML chat and across the world, there should be people joining and commenting. And while Don Eagle sets up his Leaping Lizard, I'm going to go ahead and try to invite both coaches to a party so that they can hear my commentary, and maybe at the end we'll get a post-game interview. Oh, there's a strong block right there by Wade. Okay, let's see what happened. Looks like, let's back it up a little bit and we'll catch up. So where we left when we went to invite the coaches to the party chat, is we had the block by Wade on Mike.
Smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
Ah, good. He's got the ball. It's always embarrassing.
How you doing, Don? I think that's Don that just joined us on the broadcast. Am I right?
That's not gonna chat too much, but I'm here.
No, that's fine. I just invited you so you could hear the commentary live, and maybe after the game you give a post-game interview.
There's no stopping them.
Yep, perfect.
Oh, a strong block by, who is that? Bernie. Bernie lays a block out, and Oliver's on the ground on his back.
Hey. That's it. Force them back and then pow.
Hodor. Doors moving into position, and the skink with the ball, by the way, is Billy, and Billy actually is the rushing leader right now in the WAC and WFC competition. Let's see if he racks up some more yardage today. A block on Hodor, but he's only pushed back. David moves up, and Hodor is surrounded by short, stocky dudes that want to rip his kneecaps out. Now we have the Leaping Lizard. Billy, by the way, is also the leading scorer with 3 touchdowns in the WAC and WFC competition. As of next week, I'll start compiling league-wide league leaders, but for this week we did a test case with the WAC and the WFC. Seemed to have gone well. People seem to have enjoyed having those extra stats, so we'll continue that. Looks like there's going to be a successful block by Damon. lays out David, but these dwarves are resilient. And we have Coach Quirt, who has joined the chat. Quirt, don't feel free to not talk if you don't want to. It's okay. I'll handle the announcing. But being in the party lets you hear the live commentary, and also maybe after the game you can give a post-game interview.
No miracles.
Looks like we have one person watching or in the chat room. So maybe that number will expand. And Prague team number 5 got the call up, just today, I think, this morning. Got confirmed, or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday got confirmed as the replacement for the Royal Rattlesnake, who was run out the league by that young, fearsome team, fear-inspiring team, TMNL, who is number 1 in the WFC right now. So Prague obviously at a disadvantage stats-wise for trying to make the playoffs, because basically in effect they've come in with 3 losses for standings purposes. They're not real losses, but 3 weeks worth of points that they didn't get the chance to accumulate. So this season, either they're going to make a desperate run for second place and try to get a shot at that conference championship, or just get some good experience and show teams that they should be feared as they build themselves up, and they get to come in at the returning team TV for next season. Lizard moving up. You see Jimmy float over to the wide zone. These skinks are always dangerous. And it puts the dwarves in a predicament, because do they thin themselves out, leaving themselves to possibly 2 dice blocks from the Sorai? Or do they leave skinks unattended? And this is what makes Billy so dangerous with that stunty, but he slips, regains his footing though with the reroll. That Agi 4 is a serious problem for anybody that has to face them. And Billy is in the open. It looks like most of the dwarves are marked, and the one that is not, that is closest, well, the 2 that are closest will need 2 go-for-its at least to put a block on the ball carrier. Andrel gets on his feet. They're facing down Hodor. It will be interesting to see what they do from here. Will we see a 1-die block on Hodor? And we do see it. He is only pushed back. That may only help Leaping Lizard, because they push him back into another free dwarf. Again, Martin was already kind of locked up. It would have been helpful, because had Martin been able to get free, he can lay a block on Billy without a go for it. Will we see a dodge out of him? Is it better to go with 167% dodge or 283% go for it? And it looks like the dwarves are determined to put that Croxagore down. And we're seeing the 283% rolls. They have marked.
It was getting dangerous.
They have marked Billy, but Billy is slippery as hell. Not only does he have dodge, well, there is a tackle on him. So Peter can stop him. And here comes the blitz. Oh, they get over there, and well, he spends the reroll again. Double blue arrows. Oh, it looks like all they're going to do is detain Billy, and this could be a real problem. Now they've got to decide. Are they going to put Martin with a block onto Hodor? Yes, they are. Instead of trying to dodge out and put a 3rd man blocking off Billy. And now it looks like Billy's going to have an easy 83% dodge out to go for the end zone. But the fact that there are dwarves with, it looks like there's at least 1 dwarf with tackle on him. There's 1 dwarf with tackle on him. Means that he may have to spend a reroll if he doesn't make it the first time. In any case though, odds are looking good for Leaping Lizard, and we're going to see whether Don Eagle subscribes to Just Score magazine, or whether he tries some of the antics that he tried a couple of weeks ago that got him in trouble and ended up with him having a tie instead of a win. Oh, wow, a dodge out by a super agile dwarf blitzer, Michael, and it looks like they've locked Billy in to make it a little more difficult of a dodge out than he wanted. Still, it's going to be a 67% dodge out for the first dodge and an 83%, but this is the thing about the lizards. When you leave them open and not marked like that, they can come do this to you. And it looks like Kano is going to knock Peter to the ground, knocking Billy forward, and Billy is back to an 83% dodge out. Not only that, he is free of the tackle zone from the dwarf over on his right. That's Michael. He's free of, oh wait, no, he got knocked into Zdenda. Right, and there are no, Peter is the one with tackle. Peter's laying on the ground on his back. There are no tackle zones, or no tackle having dwarves on Billy. He could dodge out with an 83% right now, but looks like Don Eagle's going to use this opportunity to beat up some short people. Now, the advantage of this is if he knocks some dwarves into the ground, maybe some of them don't get up. The disadvantage is if he spends his reroll and then he fails, well, no, Billy's got to dodge anyway, so I think he's on solid ground there. He's getting 2 goes at that dodge out, and he's not going to score. He is going to delay, wants to give the dwarves less time to score. He is now effectively...
That happened. It took 3 days to piece the body back together.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's not completely out of the reach of the dwarves here. But they can't blitz him next turn. All they'll be able to do is delay him. So he's taking an extra turn, and he's going to spend that extra turn beating some dwarves up. There's Damon. Just pushing back. Is that Sermi? Are we going to see Hodor now?
The bigger they are,
The harder they punch.
Hodor putting a pounding on David, and David's on his back, but that dwarf armor is holding steady enough that he's not knocked out, but he is stunned. The problem with that is now he has freed up Alda, but Alda's only got a 4 movement, so Don Eagle has some breathing room there. Here come the skinks to make life more difficult, and it looks like Don Eagle is going to milk this first drive for all it's worth. What's up, Rez? We got Rez in the chat room. Yeah. Another coach doing another young coach doing some work on the farm. Rez chomping at the bit to get his spot in the Challenge League and then maybe move up to the pros. Got some teams dropping out, so you might see that. You might see that mailroom to CEO kind of ascension in the MML in these coming days. In a couple coming weeks. There you go, block on block. Kano against Michael. They face off. Thunder happens, and nobody moves. Will Zdenda block on Kano, or is he going to dodge out and try to lock up Billy the Skink? Looks like right now, it looks like the Praag number 5 team has pretty much accepted that this score is going to happen. So
this is going to be decisive.
He's just going to take his opportunity to try to put some lizards down. Of course, no injuries so far, no stuns. He's not getting what he wants out of this so far. And again, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Zdenda. Does he keep him there and lay a block on Kano, or does he dodge him out and risk 2 go-forwards to corner Billy? Here comes Troll Slayer Aldra, and there is a Soros on his back. That is Wade, who takes a tumble. And if you've been paying attention to the WAC and WFC stats, Wade is, well, let's see. Nope. I thought Wade was up a contender for something, but he's not a league leader. And there you go. It's Denda. Dodge is free. He has cornered Billy. This is going to be a 67% dodge for Billy. No. He's got stunty. So it might just be a 83%. I'm not sure. That stat doesn't show up for me. Tom runs up and tries to put a body on Jimmy. Again, you can only do so much with these dwarves, but man, are these some dodgy dwarves. Martin running up and trying to get in the way of Vinny so Vinny can't come over and help. And it looks like Coach Quirt is going to force Billy to make this dodge. But Don Eagle's not even worried about the score right now. It looks like he really wants to take some dwarves out before he gives them the ball back.
The player's fist is approximately the same size as his entire...
Oh! Nice uppercut coming from Snake on Bernie. And Bernie's on his back. There you have Damon hitting Sermi. Pushes Sermi back. This is dangerous. Is he going to throw a block with Hodor? It's very tempting. Oh, he comes up with the double skulls. There's his reroll. It doesn't matter because he's got dodge on Billy. And the dwarf marking him does not have tackle. However, he has now spent his rerolls. If there's another botched roll, then he is risking Denda from pushing him into the sideline. I guess the good thing for the dwarves here is they forced him to score quickly so they could do the old 2-1 grind. Meaning that they could just milk this drive, score right on the 8th turn, and then get the ball back and again grind it out for the 2-1 win. Are we going to see a new pro coach here come in and shock the world by upsetting the heavily favored opponent with the more built-up team? Or is Quirk just going to learn some valuable lessons for today, lick his wounds, and come back next week and try harder? We shall see. By the way, Rez chiming in the chat room that if Liath doesn't show this week, and that's the coach of the Dark Moon Blades, then he has been promised the opportunity to roll into the Challenge League. And that's good. Rez is a good coach. I have faced off against him personally in the farm. Just today, as a matter of fact, received a drumming from him. So beware, coaches, if he makes it to the pros, you're going to have a very dangerous competitor on your hand. By the way, we now have 3 people in the chat room. Hello to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Once again, you are watching Leaping Lizard versus Praag team number 5. Praag number 5 team. And I keep screwing that up. I wonder where Coach Quirt got that name from. Is that supposed to be like the cologne? Prada number 5 or whatever it is? Hey, no problem, Rez. You earned that compliment. My butt still hurts from that ass whooping you gave me today. But that's good. It'll make me stronger. All right. Teams staring at each other across the line. See the fire in the lizard's eyes, ready to defend. These dwarves have proven pretty resilient, pretty dodgy, pretty shifty. Let's see what Quirt's got in his pocket. The danger with going up against a team fresh out of the Challenge League is that you haven't been playing them. Don Eagle got short notice he was playing this team. I'm sure he scouted them a little bit, but you just never know what he's going to do on the pro level. We all know. Pro level is a little different from the, it's very different from the farm, and probably a little different from Challenge League in terms of how people play. Let's see how this works out. Looks like the Praag number 5 team is really mapping out their path to that end zone. And we've got the ball kicked off. It's in the air.
Who would you rather look at?
And Tom, it's a very high kick. Tom's going to move into place. Oh no, it's a blitz. A blitz. Leaping Lizard gets a free bonus turn. And could we be seeing some skinks swoop in and put down the number 5 team very early in the match?
These dwarves really are tough.
So far, Don Eagle's been playing pretty conservative, but it looks here like if given the shot, he is going to do everything he can to score those 2 quick touchdowns. And then it'll be interesting to see if he starts to try to set records or if he sits back and just plays very conservative keep away. Jimmy moves into place. By the way, Jimmy, if I remember correctly, Jimmy is actually, and I do remember correctly, Jimmy is actually currently known as the best punching bag in the WAC and WFC competition, meaning he has been knocked out the most times. Ooh, a bonehead from Hodor who just sits there and looks stupid. Billy moving up into place behind his 2 bodyguards there, Kano and Snake. And you've got Silly sitting back basically playing safety. If this ball falls into Skink's hands behind enemy lines, it's going to be a real problem for the Dwarves. There was a chance there for Blake to recover that. If he had, that would have been a real headache for the Praag number 5 team. Luckily for him, it does not, but he still has Blake sitting in between him and the ball, as well as Vinny over there to make matters worse. And you've got Damon in the general vicinity, and basically any skink on the board right now can touch this ball. They are a threat. So the Dwarves need to be careful. Looks like they are lining their cards up to come in and swoop in with the blitz.
The ball is currently
being very cautious,
now they must grab it.
Perhaps overly cautious in the way that he has gone about this. Tom throws a block, knocks Blake into the ball, which falls back into Tom's hands. He can't pick it up, but he has knocked that ball loose away from Blake. It is not in the tackle zone of an opponent. He would still have to use a go for it from Michael to get that ball. And that's about his only option on picking that up. A 67% chance on the pickup and an 83% chance on the go for it. He does have re-rolls. There's Addenda running up.
He's coming to help his buddy.
There's
That's
Carol.
gonna hurt.
Or Carell. I'm not sure how you say it. But I'm just going to go ahead and guess, because why not? This is a very interesting game. This could go one of 2 ways. The Lizards are hanging around. Looks like they are sending a lot of their people in. Now with Skinks, because they can recover with a lot of ground, it's not like Don has completely abandoned defense, but did go pretty heavy for the ball, so a recovery here by the Dwarves could work out in their favor heavily. That being said, if they fail to pick up this ball, this game is going to quickly get out of hand. Oliver knocked down by Bernie. And there you have another Udra knocking down Damon. The big brass knuckles coming with the right hook. Right now, Jimmy, the league punching bag, is surrounded. The competition punching bag. And now Michael's making his move. He's going to go for the extra go for it. And he blows the pickup. But that's what re-rolls are for. A goat is sacrificed to Nuffle. Michael has the ball. He is currently out of reach. There's a red dice block. And Kano is pushed back. A successful recovery from the Dwarves. What is the Lizard team going to do about it? We've got 4 turns left for each side. These are critical moments in the match. If this goes well for the Lizards, this game becomes pretty much out of hand really quickly. And you'll start to see the Dwarves go into desperation mode. And because they don't have a lot of guys that can cover a lot of ground very quickly, Yeah, that could work out very badly for the Dwarves. And even for the fans, because then this will turn into an uninteresting slaughter. But if Michael can push that ball forward or get it to somebody else who can push it forward, then we may see a successful 2-1 grind, as the Dwarves are due to get the ball back in the second half. Here comes the blitz from Wade. Wade, a mean son of a gun, knocking Martin back. And Coach Don Eagle signaling that he wants him to knock him straight. Martin is injured. No long-term effect. He's just badly hurt, but he's going to stumble off of he's going to crawl off the pitch. Now Wade is looking down, menacing on Michael. There's a 2-dice block led by Blake on David. David knocked down. And now it looks like Don is starting to get more aggressive. The safeties are moving up. Again, not something big that you really have to worry about when you got Skinks versus Dwarves. Skinks can make up a lot of ground, and Stunty gives them another dimension, being able to make their way to the ball. Swinging around the left side. Snake moving into place. Looked like Nuffle wanted to get him. But again, somewhere somebody sacrificed some kind of small animal, and Nuffle let it happen. Coach Don assessing his surroundings, trying to figure out if he wants to move one of those 2 remaining Skinks.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
He lays the 2-dice block on Tom.
That could have been worse.
And Vinny pushes Tom away from the ball carrier, but does not follow up. And this is a tough situation right now for team number 5. Oof. This is where tackle becomes a bitch. And there again is Jimmy, and this is why he's known as the competition punching bag. Getting KO'd again. I think that's the 4th time this season in 4 games. Jimmy is laying on his back on the sideline over there. This is where we see what we're dealing with here from our new coach. Now, our league commissioner is very meticulous in the way that he conducts the league, so I'm sure that there was a lot of thought put into who he was going to select to come in and fill the vacant spot in the Wicked Forest. There are a lot of coaches out there that were chomping at the bit to get it, and he chose Quirt. So this is Quirt's opportunity to make Preach look good. Zedenda rolls over alongside Michael. Tom is going to come over and lay a block on Wade, and Wade is flying on his back. Michael is now loose. Tom moves up and marks Billy. Will Michael take that right wide zone, or will he cut the other way? Various blocking options now existing for Coach Quirt, and Coach Quirt decides to take a naked move over to that wide zone. Very, very risky. He is all alone out there, but fortunately every Saurus is marked. Now some people might choose to leave that up to the Skinks and trust that the Skinks aren't going to be enough to lay the block on Michael, but it looks like Quirt is getting aggressive. We got 4 Sorai pushed to the left side of the, well, 3 Sorai and a Kroxigor pushed over to the left side of the pitch. And Whiskey's asking who got the ball first, and it was actually the Lizards. So, yes, red die block happening here. There's a reroll, and it looks like there's just going to be a Mexican standoff over there between Bernie and Oliver. Lizards got the ball first, scored pretty quickly. The Dwarves with a chance for the 2-1 grind.
Pretty risky action ball.
Another 2-die block, this time on Hodor.
Well,
and it just results in pushing him back. Yes, this is a very interesting match, Whiskey. It looked for a second there when the Lizards got a blitz, and it looked for a second there like Don might get an easy reception of that ball and charge into the end zone. Oh, he is pushing his luck with these red die blocks, but they are resulting in standoffs. Coach Quirt is not sitting by idly. He is not playing a finesse game. He is playing hard. Now the problem here is exactly that you have left Wade laying on the ground. Looks like Coach Quirt may have forgot about him, or he may have just banked on good luck. It holds up momentarily, but Don Eagle's going to spend his last reroll, and there goes Michael for a ride. And oh no, it is a problem because the most dangerous Saurus on this team now has the ball. Blake with a devastating blow toward the Dwarves, knocking David on his back. David's spending a lot of time on his back this game, and it looks like the Sorai are just cleaning up. Ooh, could get ugly. Yet another successful block. Here comes Damon. Oof. This is just getting violent. Oh, Hodor with another chomp. And there goes Bernie. Bernie laying on the ground. It's like almost everybody's laying on the ground. Only 4 Dwarves left standing. With 3 turns to go, how aggressive is Don Eagle gonna get? Smart move, he brings Oliver over there as a lead blocker. He's also got 3 skinks in the vicinity. Looks like Vinny's gonna cut out.
That's quite a mismatch, Bob.
To the center. Another successful block, Snake.
Oh, I'm excited, Jim.
Flooring Carol. Ooh, more Dwarves on the ground. And Rez wonders if the fireball's coming next. That's what I've been wondering. You know, the Praag team did not use it when they had the opportunity to do it on the first drive. I wonder if they forgot. I hope not. That would be a rookie mistake. Or if it was tactical. And the question is going to be, can Wade get into? He's got 2 more turns to get there. It's a lot of ground to cover, but Wade does have the movement to make it in 2 turns if he keeps the ball. The question is, does the Praag team want to spend it right now? And I'm not sure they do. Whiskey said he doesn't like the spot where the ball is. You know, that could make it difficult. And now you've got a decision from Coach Quirt. You got 2 free Dwarves over there. So you got Tom and you got Zdenda. Now those 2 could move up and theoretically allow for a 1-die block on the ball carrier, Wade. But the problem is he's leaving 2 skinks back unattended. But that ball carrier still has to make it to those skinks, so I guess he is going to opt to just make it happen, Captain. And here comes the one die block probably from Michael. Oh, no. He's gonna move Bernie first. Okay. He's got Andre and Peter over on the left. And here comes the one die block. Oh. And it just doesn't help. Oh, Lord, Michael is in surfable position right now. And if you know Coach Don Eagle, he loves to surf. But then again, touchdowns are important. And if he surfs with Wade, he's not going to make that touchdown. So I think you will actually see a position here where Coach Don Eagle, being pressed for time to make it to the end zone, will not take the surf. Maybe Court was counting on that. Michael has been one of his stronger players so far, though. Here goes Vinny moving into position.
It's a block.
And he does try to serve him, but ends up with the one-time block. So if there's one thing that Don Eagle can't resist, it's a serve. And that's the way you keep him from scoring the touchdown. Put your players on the sideline and let them take a gander at you. If this game ends up in a draw or a loss for Don Eagle, you're going to have to say this is the second bonehead move in 3 weeks. Lucky for him, that ball did end up with Oliver, but I think Oliver appears to be out of range of the touchdown. So he will have to get that ball to someone else if he's going to get it there. Here comes Andre, and it looks like they are surrounding Kano. They're sick of that 5-strength. Those 5-strength Sorai are a real problem. And Kano takes a nap. Now the Dwarves have 2 turns, including this one. So if they can get somebody into that midway position and out of range of these Sorai who appear tied up, it may be only Skinks that can catch them and cause a problem. But first, they have to get this ball away from Oliver. And can they do that? Very smart. Oh, Lord, and Nuffle is not kind. Skull is thrown, and Bernie takes a seat. There's only one real move for Don Eagle to make here to get this ball into the end zone. And he cannot blitz Zedenda before doing it, because then he'll lose his ability to make the handoff. Yeah, Skulls are tough. Nuffle is cruel today. And it looks like Don's just going to beat up some Dwarves before he makes that risky move. With these Skinks, though, man, it's going to be an issue. That handoff is not going to be the greatest probability. And Don is out of rerolls. But if he makes it, Vinny is gone. And it looks like, again, Don just can't resist beating up some Dwarves. Sometimes I think Don enjoys the fighting more than the scoring.
Sitting down. There'll be trouble with the Unions at this point.
Yeah, the blitz definitely was the game changer, as Rez just pointed out in the chat. Definitely it just kind of ruined the Dwarves' return charge. But there is a good chance he has prevented the touch. Oh, wow, there is a bunch of pushes going on. It does not look like he's going to free. He's actually going to make it worse for Vinny in getting the handoff. So where you had, no, it's the same, actually. It's the same chance. This is a bad chance of a handoff. No rerolls. But if he does get the handoff, Vinny is gone. He is a dodge and a go for it away. Unfortunately for him, Tonda has tackle.
No.
And Hodor says he's going to sit this one out.
And a little
The handoff works. Vinny has the ball, and this could go very badly for the Dwarves very quickly. And oh, this is where tackle is a godsend for the Dwarves. It looks like the half is going to end with no score. or no, second score rather, and it's going to be 1-0 Leaping Lizards heading into the second half with the Dwarves getting the ball. This is exciting action right here. And do I hear the Beach Boys playing? Was a huge tackle. Yes, Whiskey. Huge tackle. And yes, here it comes. Everybody's going surfing. They are trying to get rid of Oliver now. Oh, but no, he's not. He's just gonna fall on his back. There was no push there. But there is still a way to surf him. No, there's not. Now it just becomes a matter of beating up some Sauruses, I guess, is what he wants to do. And he has some personnel to make it happen. Some people would have tried to crush some skinks, but, you know, especially with 2 people already knocked out. But Quirt is going big, because if he can take out a Saurus, that can be a game changer. Now, both of these Sauruses over here. Damon, who is being hit, is only the 4 strength. He's not the fiber. Oof, there's an uppercut from Stanley, but it does not lay him out of the game. And it looks like they're going to target 5 strength Snake next. And he's got the personnel to do it. He does have the personnel. It's going to come from Tonda.
Attacker has an assist.
And he is successful in the block. How devastating will it be? There's the brass knuckles coming over the top of the nose. Oof. The Lizards are resilient today. Whiskey's wondering whether there'll be a foul.
The Dwarves have taken an interest in the
He does
ball.
not try to foul. Instead, he tries to take the ball and maybe get an SPP out of it. And it doesn't work out for him. But did prevent the second score, and because of that, Quirt is not only still in this game, but looking okay. Looking okay for the second half. The Saurus and the Skink remain down. Looks like Don Eagle is going to enter the second half down a Saurus.
We're about to start the next down.
Only 5 Saurai on the pitch. But again, since his Saurai are 5 strength, well,
Easy to replace.
one of them's 5. One of the guys is 5 strength. The other one may be injured this time. No, actually, the one taking a nap is 5 strength. So that is actually very big for Quirt. Rez saying you still played nicely, Quirt, even though you didn't get the score. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. This has been very savvy play, dealing with some really bad luck like the Blitz against a much more stacked and difficult team and a veteran coach from our rookie coach. So whatever the outcome, as far as the first half looks, this has been very successful for Quirt. Whiskey saying he dreads facing the Lizzies in the MML. And, you know, Whiskey, one of those coaches in the Challenge League, formerly in the Pro League. And like I said before, it's like that episode of 30 Rock where maybe you'll see him work his way. You'll see him leave the company, come back through the mailroom, and work his way all the way back up to CEO status. Would be absolutely hilarious if he actually did get the call up, came back, somehow made the playoffs, and won the whole thing. That would be historic. All right, the Lizards kick off. It's Tom back there standing by the ball. You have Tonda move up. Don Eagle leaving a Skink exposed. And Silly is going to take a hit. An overhand cross coming, and it's not going to put him out. I'm sure, Whiskey, your name will grow on the trophy someday. And now we have 7 people in the chat room. We got 26 comments. This is a pretty well-attended game. Pretty well-attended match.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
And the Dwarves are getting aggressive. Got Tom back there sitting by the ball. Tom has sure hands, so that's good. And as much ground as those skinks could cover. They look to be out of range of that ball right now. So, Quirt pushing forward. And he is going to take his shots at the Lizards while he can. But he does move Andre back. It looks like he is trying to set up the cage. But first,
That's a holding maneuver. if
but
ever I
first,
saw one.
I don't know why he marked
Boys
those
in the
Sorai
dwarfs,
kind of
rather
unnecessarily.
big and ungainly hands.
They weren't gonna come in, and he may have forgotten that that is a 5-strength Saurus there. Snake is a 5-strength Saurus. So Tom successfully picking that ball up, cutting left. He looks like he is committing to the left side, but not completely, because there is David running up and marking Wade. Red die block on Snake does not work out for Bernie. Another red die block, this time on Hodor, but Hodor has block. This is probably the most, at the risk of being the TMNL coach, this is probably the most fearsome gang of Sorai and Croxes in the MML right now. 2 5-strength Sorai with block, and you've got a Croxagore with block. This is the advantages, I guess, of having the return team and having gotten to play a whole season worth of 8 games and then getting a 1,500 TV cap. So for you rookie coaches coming into the MML this year, your 1,200 cap coming from the farm has limited you, but don't worry. You pay your dues, and next year maybe you get a power team like Don Eagle has. There goes Blake, laying Andre on the ground. The blitz is on, and he pushes through that line. He is threatening Tom. Just when you think you're safe, you are not. Now the question is going to be, if Tom can get away from Blake next turn. Looks like that sideline has a crease. And it looks like Don Eagle is taking away that crease.
I wonder how fast they'd be after I broke at some length.
Yes, as Crimson Loon pointed out, this is pretty much as close as you can get to a blitz. The blitz is on, without being awarded a blitz on the kickoff. I mean, they're throwing everybody. Don Eagle is committing hard. Looks like he wants to end this game and end it now. Recovering that ball, knocking that ball loose in the backfield right now, and running it in for a touchdown would be absolutely devastating. He runs 2 safeties back to cover that wide zone.
So close.
And he also floors the dwarf with guard. David all the way in that right wide zone, but he did leave another dwarf out there. A block laid by Oliver on Alda. Alda stays up, and it looks like those Sorai are all marked. Oh, and Hodor takes a seat. This could be, if he could free Tom and get to that right wide zone somehow, this could be a quick turn of events for these dwarves. Whiskey asking if there's a way to set up a block on the skink and push the Saurus away, that you'd have to get a dwarf over to the right of the Saurus and then blitz another one down on the skink, then pushing the Saurus away. So yes, there is. But he would have had to get Andre there. Now, I'm not sure that this was the best move for him to make. This is a very conservative move. There is a small window open. Tom does have 3 agility. It's not the best dodge in the world, but he could have laid a 1-die block onto the skink and then dodged out. And if he could have made it over, well, that's a lot of there's just not a lot of agility with dwarves, and that's the problem. So that would have probably what he did just turned out to be much, much better. And there is a handoff. Oh, and this is the problem. It's the problem with the dwarves. But Zedenda gets the ball, and Wow, this could quickly turn for the Dwarves. Quirt showing some moxie. Look at that. Zedenda breaking into the open field. And he is going to get some assistance from Michael. What a bunch of moves. And there's Carol in place. Carol with tackle. Tonda with tackle. This is, yeah, you're right, Rez. That was a badass move. I am, much respect going to Coach Quirt. This is a lot of really good coaching under a lot of pressure. With the red die block coming.
Now that's a...
On the 5 Saurus, the snake gets pushed back by Alda. These red die blocks are ballsy, and Coach Quirt is not afraid to make them, and they work out for him again. There goes Oliver, and he's gonna take a seat. And yes, as Whiskey has pointed out, Coach Quirt hasn't even used his wizard yet, which makes this very, very interesting. Frenzy. And Snake is gonna get just pushed back, and they're getting what they want. That 5-strength Saurus as far away from the picture as possible. And here comes that blitz from David to get away from the sidelines. Ugh, Skull comes up, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because they've still got Wade marked up. Wade very, very dangerous right now. Very dangerous. Both of these skinks marked with tackle dwarves. Yeah, this Whiskey said it's going to be sexy. And it looks like Hodor is going to get up, try to run in there and cause some problems. What are we going to see out of Billy here? 4 agility does go a long way, and he's got stunty. There's why Wade is feared. Stanley on his back. And this match just keeps getting more and more interesting. The momentum rocks one way, then it rocks the other way. What looked like another quick touchdown for Don Eagle after a blitz in the second half has just turned into an epic battle with the Dwarves about to score with a wizard still in their possession. One thing is sure, it looks like Preach picked a good coach to come in and fill M. Guiteau's shoes. I'm sorry, this wasn't M. Guiteau's shoes. This one was, I was just missing from the Wicked Forest. I'm drawing a blank now. It was one coach. First it was M. Guiteau that went, the next coach. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't. Mr. Big went first, then M. Guiteau. So this is the coach filling M. Guiteau's shoes.
Get next to the ball carrier so you can block. And if that doesn't work...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the godfather of the MML in the room, Preach MJ.
Only use for a ball, in my opinion. Highlight
In for this game has garnered 8 live viewers. That's 1/4 of the MML pro teams. And then we're not even including the 2 competing coaches who are listening to me on chat. And these post-game interviews are going to be interesting. So if you guys are in the chat, hang around after the match. We have both coaches in the party chat. They are quiet right now, concentrating. But, you know, with little beads of sweat rolling down the sides of their heads, they're furiously figuring out what the next move is. But after the match, they'll hang around for some questions. Now you've got a tough situation for the Dwarves, but one they can definitely get out of. There is going to have to be a dodge. And it's a 67% dodge. The question is going to be, is this something that the Dwarves do right away, or are they going to try to get their licks in first? This is tough. This is tough. 3 skinks surrounding them, but there is an opening. There's a 67% dodge, and you're going to see Michael come in and knock Lizzie too on the ground. Lizzie, the original Lizzie, I believe, was killed in week 1 by TMNL's Maymonicus. He was actually known as the serial killer in the WAC WSC competition so far. The only one with a kill in the competition. Of course, that I have not updated those stats for week 4, so if there's been any other kills in the competition this week, I don't know about it. And yes, I am shamelessly self-publicizing right now. It's going to be interesting. Oh, he tries to make the dodge. It's a 33% dodge. I don't understand why that's a... Oh, he's got diving tackle. I didn't realize that. Diving tackle on that skink. Ouch. Wow. And this is where scouting comes in. You got to know if the other side has diving tackle. I'm not sure if Court knew that. The ball is loose. And man, this could go so many ways right now. Turn 11. The end of turn 11. Leaping Lizard recovers this ball with one of those skinks. The Dwarves are in a lot of trouble, and the Dwarves are in a lot of trouble. That ball has just moved from right outside the enemy end zone to the halfway marks. Wow. Wow, wow. How quickly momentum has shifted. And here come the hits. This Dwarves being very resilient. The Dwarf armor holding up. And the guy you don't want to have that ball right now is Billy. Billy, again, is the competition leader in scoring as well as rushing.
Will the big one manage to lay out an opponent of half his strength?
I think he's got something like 132 yards rushing on the season, and he's got 3 touchdowns. The 4 agility, you can see why. A lot of these Dwarves being, oh, they're taking a nasty tumble. There are a lot of Dwarves on their backs right now. And a dodge out with Stanley would be the only real threat right now to Billy without using the wizard, but he's got 2 agility, so that's a really tough dodge to make. Wow, Silly goes for the dodge, and it does not work out in his favor. He's injured. Don Eagle's numbers are starting to dwindle over there. Now the question is, how does Coach Quirt respond? Pretty smart. But if he uses the blitz right now from Stanley, or if he uses the blitz and he just marks Billy, you know Billy's got 4 agility. Still, his options are a little limited here. Ernie's going to lay a block on Vinny, which is probably smart to make sure that you take care of him, mark him, pushing him away from the ball carrier. Also smart. He chooses not to blitz.
So am I.
Instead, they're just going to floor him. I'm not quite sure why Coach Quirt did not use his blitz there and then mark Billy. That could really burn him badly. Billy with the Agi 4 and leap, but because he's got stunty, that's going to make his passing more difficult. But it is theoretically possible that Vinny could dodge out, hit the end zone, and Billy could run into range and throw that pass downfield. It is possible. Now you've got a decision of your court, because if you use that lightning bolt, you've wasted something that, or you've used up a very, very useful tool for yourself. Another reroll in effect. That's Praag number 5's team's last one. If he uses the lightning bolt right now, yeah, he's burned the tool and he's at a disadvantage in that respect. However, you know, and theoretically as well, Billy could just get up and do the same thing next turn. But if he doesn't use it and Billy makes this pass successfully into the end zone, then the game's pretty much over. So what's Coach Quirk going to do? You know, hindsight is 20/20. Arguably, he could have used the lightning bolt on the diving tackle skink earlier, dodged out with 67% and made that end zone. You know, I don't even know if he, unlike me, was... I don't even know if he, like me, was fooled and I didn't realize that that skink had diving tackle. This is Lizzie coming over to support. Dwarves choose not to use the lightning bolt, hoping that they can use it when they're in an emergency
like
mode.
old-fashioned fight.
So right now, Bernie marking Oliver, but I mean not Oliver.
Intimidation is the key.
Bernie is marking Vinny, but if Vinny gets free, this could be a passing touchdown. Oh, Quirk said he didn't see the diving tackle. So he said in the chat. I didn't see it either, Quirk. Don't feel bad. Actually, when I said 67% chance, I may have contributed to you making that mistake. I apologize if I had any part in that. But then again, if you didn't see it, your screen said 67%.
It can be so
You know,
overrated.
I don't know that
There's always room
I
in
made a
sport
difference.
for crap like this.
Here comes the blitz. Ooh, and Bernie is gonna take a one-turn nap. This frees up Vinny, and this is no longer a pass now. This is a handoff. And if this, oh, no, it's not gonna be a handoff. Don Eagle wants to keep Billy the scoring leader in the WAC and WFC competition. And it looks like he's just going to run out and let Vinny sit back and block for him. And again, Don Eagle's been known to throw unnecessary passes for the SPP. Yeah, Red says Don's definitely going to stall it out. Now the problem with stalling it out is obviously there is a wizard out there. However, if he uses the wizard too early, I mean, he may use if he uses the wizard now, he's still got another skink in Vinny sitting around to pick up that ball, and only one dwarf of Tom in the vicinity. Tom, however, more nimble than most dwarves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'd have to go for it and hit Vinny. He'd have to dodge out from Blake, go for it, blitz on Vinny after taking the lightning bolt, hoping it's successful on Billy, and then subject himself to getting pummeled by 2 Sorai the next round. This is going to be very curious how Quirk manages to do this.
Watch out.
Here it comes. Fries Billy. It does not knock him out of the game, though. Stanley moving up, all the dwarves moving into position. He's trying to mark as many of those skinks as possible. Oh! And that 2-dive block was kind of devastating. I'm not sure that he shouldn't have tried to dodge out with Tom first. And now that opportunity is gone. Tom is on his back. Looks like Billy is going to be able to get up. and can maybe even run that touchdown in. Looks like Don is not interested in scoring quickly. Maybe even setting himself up for a pass. Yeah, Crimson saying he got nuffled. This is where I believe you're only going to get so many chances with the dice.
At the start of the next turn.
I just don't know if maybe if he was going to get the rolls, get him in early with the guy that matters the most, and that would have been Tom. So I think it was taking unnecessary chances for that to happen with the double dice over there. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but you know, 8 rolls, you're more likely to come up with a -1 at some point when you don't have re-rolls. And now just the Legions are just cleaning up. Dwarves being pretty resilient here. I mean, you see, look at the sideline over there. You've got 3 of the lizard men out, and you've got dwarves still in reserve, and nobody knocked out on the left sideline. So, oh, well, you got one. You got one out. But Whiskey's gonna clock out and go home from work. I don't blame you. And this has been a much closer game than the score is gonna look. And that is unless of course Quirk can tie it up. And this becomes one of those philosophical coaching strategy things. If you get the wizard, you know, the timing is everything. You know, I know you want to save it for these emergency situations, but here it looked like by the you hold it, and then by the time you're like ready to pull that lever, it's too late. Because all it's doing is buying you a turn. Yeah, and as Crimson pointed out, a lot of dwarves looking at the sky right now, and there goes Snake. He's going to take a tumble. Oh! His brass knuckles looking devastating. Snake is going to take a 2-turn nap. Bernie is going to move toward the ball carrier. I don't know if Don Eagle wants to play around with this anymore for next turn. But you never know. You might see him take advantage of that movement allowance and milk this clock. This is bad when you got to skink far away from you in the open field and you got a slow team like dwarves. Guy, he does have a 6 movement guy over there. He's got a 5 movement guy. Smart move, locking up Blake like that with Michael, so Blake can't just go and insert himself. Lizzie floating in that vicinity to make matters worse.
That thing is about to get punched above and below.
And there is a block on Hodor, who goes down. Tonda laying him down. Looks like he's going to pull those dwarves back. No sense in keeping them deep on the other side. Red die block does not work out for him, and Mead lays out David. That's a very risky thing to do, to lay a red dice block on a guy that has Mighty Blow. But, like I said, looks like the dwarves are in full desperation mode now. Even if they were to somehow stop this touchdown, there's only 2 turns. So unless Don Eagle does something really, really, really dumb,
That's what he'd say if he could.
this game looks like it's a wrap. And our viewership has dwindled to 5, and Don Eagle says, just score. Billy with 2 more scores, bringing his total for the season to 5. And we will know at the conclusion of week 4 who the league leaders are, but 5 touchdowns is a lot of touchdowns. Maybe a bounty will get put on Billy. Wouldn't that be ironic? Since his coach is the guy who started the bounty league, or the bounty organization. Yes, and again, the MML has spoken through the Godfather, and he says for a very lopsided match on paper, it's 2-0. Quirt had a very good showing in his first pro game, and I do believe that, as I commented earlier, Quirt really swung this in. It was very, very threatening for Leaping Lizard. At one point, it definitely looked like the strong possibility of an upset. But this is what veteran coaches do. They keep calm. They know the dice are eventually going to swim back in their favor. They wait for that opening, and then they strike. And when you've got 4 lightning fast skinks with stunty and things like diving tackle, you can do that. And Don Eagle showed why he's been so successful. Right, as Rez pointed out, the diving tackle was definitely the difference. You got a kickoff onto kickoff going here, kickoff return in effect. There's a change of weather and that it's nice. That ball gets moved to the end zone and it's going to be a touchback. That's going to help the Dwarves out in terms of if they can score a morale touchdown. And they are going, looks like they're going to try to shoot up that right sideline. They're going to give it to Michael. David, who has Mighty Blow right next to him. Tom rolls up. How are the Dwarves going to play this? Obviously, there's going to be a blitz on Wade. Wade having caused some devastation in this game. Very threatening. He is the only Saurus with Mighty Blow. So at this point, with 2 turns left, it's not going to be game-changing to take him out, but at least you wouldn't be worried about what kind of damage he's going to do to your team for next game.
Yeah, smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
David moving into position. A little curious that he marked Wade with the dwarf that has Mighty Blow instead of hitting Wade with the dwarf that has Mighty Blow. But, oh yeah, he is sending Zenda down the left wide zone as well. So these skinks are going to have to split up in order to cover these people. And it looks like you're going to see a bunch of Saurus marking. And that's why you use the Mighty Blow guy, so that you can get 2 shots on him. And it doesn't do what he wanted it to do. Not only that, but Andre now does not have the back end covered. So the question then becomes for Quirt. Does he want to get really, really risky for it? I mean, it's not going to change the game, but if he's trying to score that morale touchdown, you know, he's going to have to start making moves. Looks like he's marking a bunch of Sauri, and as we know, Don Eagle loves nothing better than to pound dwarves and knock people out. So
last burst of speed.
Expect a lot of that extra step is too much, and that pretty much guarantees the dwarves are not going to get the touchdown. Yep, that is a guarantee.
Yeah, dwarfs are like walnuts, Jim. Easy to stamp on, but it's still kind of hard to crack the shell. This one, the attacker, smells weakness.
And now we're just watching cleanup duty. Rez is out. Thanks for watching, Rez. You guys, if you are watching this match at the conclusion, we are going to have a post-game interview with the coaches, so stick around for that if you got the time. And it looks like Don Eagle is going to try to score. Make it 3-0. Why not, right? Help them out in the standings. Is anybody leveling up in this game? I'm not sure, Crimson. I haven't seen anybody with those nice yellow arrows yet. So it looks like Don Eagle is going to get his hits in, then pick up that ball, and set himself up for a 3rd touchdown.
The ball is in the player's hands.
That's, of course, that's Billy picking it up. He's going to attempt to pass. He's going to mark the dwarf with Jimmy. Got 2 skinks in scoring range right now. 4, 5,
That's
6,
quite a
7,
mismatch,
8.
Bob.
That puts the dwarves in a tough position. 2 skinks
I'm excited, Jim.
in scoring range. I don't know what he tried to do over there with Hodor, but Hodor's going to sit on his back for the rest of that until the next turn. Freeing up some more dwarves. There are 2 skinks that could catch this ball for the touchdown. Can Billy get it to him? And this is where we get to see whether that Agi 4 makes up enough for the deficiency of passing and stunting, and whether Billy can make this pass. Tom gets into position
well assisted in a fight.
by Billy.
He won't leave him alone anytime soon.
There's a block put on Wade. What's Quirt gonna do at this point? Does he mark the skinks, or does he just start beating up Sorai? And he's going to take that shot at Billy.
Be a sack. I love it when that happens.
First block doesn't put him away,
Taking the ball carry, Bob.
I know
and
Jim.
neither does the
Watching
second,
same
but this
matches.
definitely makes another touchdown much more difficult. I mean, he's got a skink. Does have a skink, so Billy can potentially get free. And you're going to see Snake fall on his back again. And if one thing Quirt has been doing pretty well is keeping those 5-strength Sorai in check. Snake stunned again. He spent a lot of time on his back, and if he's not careful, he is going to replace Jimmy as the league punching bag. Or rather, as the competition punching bag. I haven't calculated the stats for the whole league yet.
Pretty risky action.
And why not? Stanley takes a go at Kano, and there's the other 5-string Sorai, and this time Kano's injured. What a way to say goodbye. He's not going to come back for next game, or maybe he will. Looks like the Apple went to work, and there's no casualty. Kano just takes a seat over on the stands, and he's been given some Gatorade. Yeah, I got puns for days. What are we going to see out of Billy here? He chooses to delay trying to score the touchdown. Instead, he's going to do what he loves to do, is beat up dwarfs. I'm starting to think Don Eagle doesn't like short people. And there he goes, and that's where Stunty is really difficult to deal with. Billy gets free, and he's going to make this a handoff. It's going to be a handoff, and you're going to see it go 3-0 as Vinny is going to trot in the end into the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game. 3-0 again. That just does not reflect how close this was for most of the match. It really doesn't. If you look at that 68% ball possession for Leaping Lizard, that's where it came, and that 56% occupation of the opponent's half was crucial. Both teams laid out over 50 blocks on each other, 114 yards rushing for the Leaping Lizard. That's just what they do. 1 KO inflicted for Praag number 5. The Lizards didn't get any KOs, and you can expect that when you're facing a dwarf team. Each side got 1 injury. 3-0 the final score, so the stats are not exceptional, and this wasn't as one-sided as it looked. You saw our debut of a new rookie coach in the Pro League, and a veteran staying savvy and doing what he does best. All right, I'm going to bring on the winner now. Don Eagle, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Don, coming off a resounding victory score-wise, do you think that you had this whole thing under control the entire time, like the score looks?
At one point, when I was 1-0 up, and he was going through with his dwarves, I was thinking, damn it, he's gonna score against me, but then I still had 6 more turns or 5 more turns in the half to score against. So I was not really that worried, but I was a bit worried, yes.
When did you pick up diving tackle?
Magazine, the periodical both players and fans
I
read.
on that skink. I think I have it since second or third game.
So it's paid off, huh? Paid off in a big way?
Yeah, it paid off against Joker as well, I think.
Yep. So wow, so
Dwarf team.
let this be a lesson if you're playing lizards or if you're playing with lizards. Diving tackle could save the game for you like it did for Coach Don. Very veteran moves, Don. Really good game. Who do you have next week? Do you know?
I can check. I have no idea.
Oh, we'll figure that out. But
I was listening, and the bonehead move you called, I didn't really think it was a bonehead move, because if the blitz was successful, then Wade was through with the ball, and next turn he could easily score.
Gotcha. I don't. You know, so much action happening. I don't remember the exact specifics at the time. I just thought it was risky at the time.
The serve, the failed serve.
Gotcha.
That I threw at Skull on. But one mistake I made was I put the skink in the wrong place for the assist.
Gotcha. Hello? Hello? There seems to have been a, oh no. Seemed to have kicked from the party. How did that happen? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Sorry, Quirt, for not getting the interview with you.
Lighter shade of pale.
I don't know. I don't know why that happened. All right. Well, good game. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. You're watching the MML at www.mmlpro.com. We're out.